Hi everybody. I'm just here to show you how I created my 10-inch slicer block, my variation of it, and I'm using the 10-inch slicer from Vanessa at CraftyGemini.com, and this block that I'm making is used by slicing only 2 slices. So this is what it looks like. This is what the block will look like when it's done. And here is the block when you have the white on the sides. So it kind of, I'm playing with how you're going to be able to put it together, but here's one way. But anyway, this is the block, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So you're going to need a rotating mat because it's much easier to use if you're right-handed. Anyway, for me, I can't cut left-handed, so I have to cut right-handed. First of all, I placed 2 10-inch blocks, and I put 2 pieces of fabric. You don't want to use more than 2 pieces because it ends up getting wonky. So my first cut is going to be just to lay the slicer right side up with the writing that says, you can clearly read 10-inch slicer, and we're going to be using it this way the entire time. I get confused if I have to switch sides and go upside down and all this stuff. So anyway, this is going to be the first cut. You're just going to lay it along the right side of the block, and you are going to rotate the board and make your first cut. So cut number 1 is like this. Okay, then you're going to turn it back towards you where the ruler is facing, where you can read it, and then you're just going to take it and you're going to place it at the corner of your first slice. And so it should be 3 3/4 inches. Can you see that there? It should measure from that slice to 3 3/4 inches, and you need to align the fabric with that line all the way up. So this is going to be your second and final cut. So there you have it. You have 3 pieces. The next thing you're going to do is construct your squares. You're going to construct it like this, okay? The first thing you're going to do is take this piece and flip it to your smaller piece. I'm going to call this the little piece throughout the video, and this the big piece. Okay, so you're going to take this triangle, and then you're going to put it onto the little piece. You're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. When you have sewn your middle piece or your triangle piece to the little piece, it's going to look like this. And don't worry about the end that's gonna look like this, because we're gonna trim it off later. So just keep going down with your 1/4 inch seam all the way down. Okay, next you're gonna take it to the ironing board, and you're gonna iron in the direction of this triangle like this. You're gonna iron it like this. Once you have ironed it, it's going to look like this. The next thing you want to do is you're gonna sew the big piece onto the triangle. So you are just going to flip it like this and sew a 1/4 inch all the way down. Once you've sewn the big piece onto the triangle, it's going to look like this. Don't be afraid of this part that looks like this. It's going to be working itself out, and you're going to trim a little bit of it later at the final end of the block. So what you're going to do now is you're going to take this to the ironing board and you're going to iron it in the direction of this big piece, like this. Once you have ironed it, you are now complete with this block. This is what it's going to look like. As you can see, it has a little bit of something hanging over here, and it's a little off over here. But that's okay, we're going to trim it down later. But you are now complete with the block. Okay, now it's time to trim the square, and we're going to make a final measurement of 9 by 9. So how I chose to do it is I take the big part, the big piece, and place it along the board and line it up with the 0 line, okay? And you'll see that it's a little bit further here. It's uneven. That's okay, because we're going to just take our ruler and then put it on the 1/4 inch mark, and we're just going to take a 1/4 inch off of it. On one side, it's going to be, on one end, it's going to be longer than the other. That's okay. This is what you're going to shave off. And then you're going to place the block on the 0 line, okay? Now you're going to go over, and then you're going to take off to the 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here, I'm going to take off like that. So you don't have to worry about any of that part that was uneven. And so now you have a 9 by 9 square that's even. Isn't it pretty?